Hey Tuskegee, welcome to another episode of Black Consciousness Today. In the studio, we have Mr. Jonathan Davis, who is always a good guest, and our host, Mr. Powell. Mr. Powell, take it away.
Thank you, brother producer, to you, our viewing audience. Welcome again to another session of Black Consciousness Today. I hope you're getting our message and you're preparing yourself to come to the table when the time comes. The focus of our program, Black Consciousness Today, is always to focus on the family, the need for that unity, to discover the power we have, realizing what we can accomplish together. We need to own some things in Macon County. We need to own them. We have the potential to do that, but we must find our hearts and minds to sit at the table, put everything in place, begin to work with our young people, give them a new view. We want to rewrite history. We don't want to live that old history. We want to rewrite history. So we have Brother Davis here today. He does a lot with our young people. So, Brother Davis, say hello to us.
Hello, listening audience. It's a pleasure for me to be here today with such an honorable producer as well as the beginner of this program, Mr. Powell. Today I would just like to talk just briefly about the new program that we have become a part of in Macon County, which is called Macon County Community Corrections. Macon County Community Corrections is a program designed to assist in addressing the overcrowdedness of prisoners and also to provide support services for prisoners once they enter back into the community. We just began this program in May of 2017, a couple of months ago. We have not gotten it all the way to where we need to have it at this point, but we are in a position to start to addressing that issue with our residents here in Macon County. The program is designed to provide support services for individuals who are either incarcerated, that is, they are in prison. That mechanism will allow for individuals to return home under supervision of a supporting staff, which includes, as Mr. Powell has said, the family, the agencies in the community that is responsible for providing services such as mental health, counseling services, alcohol and substance abuse services, employment services. We are in the process of developing resources to address this population as we get this program off of the ground. Individuals can enter this program three different ways. One, they can enter it directly from the bench. The judge can order a person to this program in lieu of sending them to prison. Number two, if they violate their probation, we have a number of citizens in our county that are now on probation. If they violate their probation, and that probation violation requires that that person goes to prison, then that person can come to community correction. And number three, they can be sentences. They can be retrieved from the prison back to the community. Once they are retrieved back to the community, they are still in the custody of DOC, which is Department of Correction, but we will have the responsibility here in the community to supervise those individuals. Our position with this program is safety first. I recognize that when you are providing services to individuals that, quote, may be prisoners, there are a lot of concerns. But in this instance, these individuals are coming back to the community anyway. You know, a person has a time period for how much time they have to serve. I like the concept in some ways to the degree that it will put the agencies that respond for providing services to these individuals on the front line. Like we have mental health services here in the community, we have counseling agency here in the community, and we have drug and alcohol substance abuse agencies here in the community. So all those agencies will be expected to engage in this project and working with the families to see what we can do to address the issues of prison overcrowding, especially from the black community. We feel very strongly there is a research component of this program, we haven't gotten there yet, that could be beneficial to not only the state of Alabama, but the nation. But we're going to crawl before we walk, but we are now in the process of beginning the program here in Macon County.
So this is a way to help keep families together.
Certainly, that is the concept of it all. As you know, that inmates has a certain amount of time that they have to spend. They're coming back to the community anyway. I love the concept. We have a university here in this community. We would like to get students more involved. We certainly need to have a direct line between academia, addressing the issue in the black community, and real live situation.
Gotcha.
Now, I'm aware of these programs. These programs are not brand new. The program has been in existence for a period of time in different places. And one aspect of that particular program, besides what he would be doing on his job and the system will give him to work with, in some communities, the people in the community develop programs where they actually work with these young people to make sure that they're not violating those parole. In some instances where they live a distance and they don't have transportation, they'll make sure to divide the transportation to show the parole officer if they don't have transportation to get there. Some time ago, I was listening to one of the program talk shows based on the same program. And one of the discrepancies was a lot of people didn't have money and they lived a distance. They didn't have transportation and there was no provision for transportation. So they violate that parole because of the lack of transportation. So as I said, in some communities, people get together through churches or whatever, set up these services outside the system because the system always needs external assistance. And they will make sure they provide those they knew that didn't have transportation, that they could get to court to meet that parole officer. Those are things that we in the community can do. And also, in some communities, they have job services. They may be small jobs, but they will be a job where a lot of these guys need to work. Small jobs, around somebody's house or whatever. They provide those things for them. They get a little stipend, not a lot of money, but it's something to keep them busy, to try to deter them from the element. Those type of service, I'm sure, would be beneficial to you if we could unite ourselves here in Macon County to begin to do things with our young people, to keep them out of your system. That's the main thing. We don't want them in your system.
Certainly, a part of this program is employment. And on all the questionnaires that I've seen in the criminal justice system throughout my professional career, is that how much free time you have. As we all know, the old cliche, idle mind is the devil's workshop. So as a part of this program, and the system recognized that these individuals must have something constructive to do. That is also one of our challenges, and that is something that we are looking into right now as we began this program, is looking for potential employees. We have had some success, some promissory notes, and it's a little early to tell, but we certainly will review all the applicants that enter this program. We'll look at what their various skills are, and we will provide them the assistance they need as far as transportation. As you know, in rural communities, transportation is always a problem. So this program will give us the opportunity to see just how diligently we are to address an issue that is very prevalent in our community, that is prison overcrowding and blacks being incarcerated. So I'm excited about it. We certainly will give it our 100% effort, and we are looking for collaboration from other agencies. I had the privilege last Saturday to speak at the Macon County Awards Banquet, the Macon County Day Awards Banquet last Saturday. And in that speech, one of the things that I focused on was evidence-based practices. There are some practices that we know that is beneficial to our community. And those practices are those individuals who get involved in the community. We know that if we all sit back and don't do anything, all we do is just make complaints about what we see, but we make no efforts in doing anything about what we see as the problem. And we do have some things going on in Macon County that is good. As far as, I use the juvenile justice system for example. 2 years ago, we did not have anyone affiliated with the courts in our school system. Now we have counsel both at Notasogo and at BTW. That gives us a linkage to our young people that may be under the court supervision, and it will not take us as long to hear about something that they have done that should not have done, and we can address it a lot earlier. We would think that many times communication is passed on, oftentimes it's not. We're not going to make a complaint about it, but what we're going to do is try to address those gaps that we see in services and that prevent us from delivering the type of services that the people here in this community needs. So I just use the juvenile area, for example. There have been some major improvements in that area, and still there are some things that we need to continue to work on. But the more we have citizens' involvement, it certainly increases our chance of addressing those kinds of issues.
And that helps the family unit.
It helps the family unit. It all
Yeah.
centers around the family. As we know, the family is the nucleus of our existence. And churches, we depends on you for a lot of things. And one of the things that I feel that the churches can continue to do, and you got some churches that put forth a good effort, is to continue to reach out to those individuals that may be lacking in some of the spiritual realms that you may have. You know, it's amazing if you look at the questionnaire that's on most of all the criminal justice system. They ask you a little bit about your belief, what you believe in. You know, and it's not saying that everybody got to be this or everybody got to be that, but it got to be something that you have some passion about, and that's what we look for. We look for people that has a passion to serve other people.
Very good. You know, one of the things that I talked about in the past, we need to, in Tuskegee and Macon County, we need to have a job skill bank. We need to have an employment office. Most of the offices are temporary now. Most young people go to Montgomery, or they go to Auburn or Palatka. That's where the offices are. So I mentioned to some of our ministers some time ago the possibility of creating that here, so that in our area we can identify employees. We're just working along with your system, as you say. I realized that need, and I tried to stress upon it. But to bring that thing to be, people have to have that genuine concern to look at what's happening in our community, the lack of jobs, the distance our young people have to go to try to find a job. And also, we can come together and create some job on our own to support everything that's happening here. But we have to do that as a family, invest in ourselves. But jobs are important, yes. And if we can identify employees here, along with what you're doing, we have this employment agency that reaches out to all the industries. And next work. So that's how other people do it.
You know,
it's just a network system.
One of the things that we mentioned on Saturday was that there was a clothing line that called FUBU, F-U-B-U. I think that meant the acronym for that was for us, by us.
Right. And
I think that's what Brother Powell is saying, is that we're going to have to look at what we can do collectively together. You know, we especially the black males. Now the females, I'm not going to get into a gender thing, but we're going to have some communication that's really going to make a difference. That is, our communication got to be genuine, and it got to be somewhat realistic as to what we actually need to do. You know, I need to be in a position where I can employ some people. You know what I'm saying? Or if I make a phone call, I can get this person on a job, and then I can hold them accountable. But then if I can't do that, then, you know, I'm a little weak, and I need to become stronger. And one of the things that I learned in this field of the social sciences is that one way you can help the poor is don't be poor yourself. So
that's my line.
So that's one of the things that we really have to work on. But collectively, I think we can do it. I really do. I think that we have to sometimes come out of our living rooms and our comfort of our home and put the hate out where the goats could get it. And I give you an example of that. You know, from going out to Capricorn early in the morning at 6 o'clock to see those kids get on the school bus. You could readily tell as a professional social worker, those kids that have had the same clothes on 2 or 3 days, you could go in the home, they'll tell you they're hungry, and they're not jiving. This is real. This is nothing that they are fabricating. Once you see that, you make the appropriate referrals, and then something is done about it. Some folks do not get a good feel for trying to help others, but we were trying to advocate. We are in the process of trying to advocate more people to get involved in issues that they are interested in. We don't expect everybody to be interested in what Jonathan Davis is involved in or interested in, but there should be something in this community that everyone can make a contribution, because we have so much talent. We have so many skills. We have so much knowledge. And we just got to pull it together. And I think programs like this, Brother Patrick, at least give us the opportunity to sensitize people to what our needs are.
Right.
This is an eye-opener.
An eye-opener.
black consciousness, the power we have within our African American black family. Sitting down together, focusing on our internal and external roles. A lot of problems we generate ourselves, so we have to deal with ourselves first collectively and realize our commonality. Don't matter about the degree you got, don't matter about the salary you make, that fancy car you got. You all got something in common. And Brother Coleman left it now. Brother Coleman was a big asset. Brother Coleman didn't have a lot. Well, he knew how to use them gadgets you guys use, you know? But he was willing to do things with the gadget that I don't know how to do.
Yes.
But he came and said, I can do this, I can do this. And he was doing little things behind the scene. So, and one of his things was that we saw, I can do this, and you can do that, all those little pieces. Because none of us have all the time, none of us have all the money, none of us don't have all the assets. But those are little pieces together, putting those little pieces together and sharing that genuine concern. It really, we can change America, man, if we want. But we have to have in our hearts and minds, starting with ourselves. Bringing those internal changes that we need to empower us to conquer the world, so to speak. We have the power, but we have that kind of love for ourselves. We have this conversation sometimes about Christ said love, and we get confused about what love means. You know what I'm saying? We have the fleshly love, we have the worldly love, but that heartfelt, sincere love where you just look at Brother Patrick or, oh, that's my brother over there. I see a little bit of myself. You know what I mean? Realizing that we all have some flaws and none are perfect, but that commonness, that human spirit, as Brother Coleman was mentioning, bringing alive that human spirit. That's where it's all at. And we can do much together. And it don't always cost money. But if it does need money, because we're doing it together, hey, God provides.
Sure
But
does.
we got to do it His way. Like I said, love your neighbor as you love yourself. The book somewhere said, do unto others you would have them do unto you. Well, you don't want me to shoot you, and I don't want you to shoot me, so we just do good for each other. We help each other. Love your enemies. God needs a piece of bread, a carb type, you stop and you help him. You know what I'm saying? See, all these things we can do just makes a difference.
You know, being a part of the McDonald's crew, I mentioned that on Saturday as well. Now, if you want to hear some stuff, go to McDonald's in the morning.
Yeah.
You will hear some things that you just not going to hear no place else. And some of it is wild, it's crazy, but some of it is very informative.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, in the field of social work, we talk about partializing a lot. That is, if you work in the field that I work in, sometimes people come to you with so many problems until you say, let's deal with this one first.
Yeah.
You know, like the roads are always an issue here. Recreation is an issue. I know I was looking at a park right now. I will say this as it is, right here on Auburn Street, right down the street here.
Yeah.
I said, now how can this grass get up that high and nobody would cut it? I said, just look like to me. I see a church group, the people from E.D. Nixon's apartment, somebody would just cut this grass. If you ride down the street right now, we can get there in 2 minutes from here. That grass is just absolutely too high. And I'm not stepping on anybody's toes, hopefully, but I thought about that. I said, you know, that we should have a program that we can adopt a park. You know,
Yeah.
I know a couple of years ago, Apple Park was the place to go. I mean, if you didn't go down to Apple Park somewhere during the summer,
I remember
you
that.
know, something was wrong with it.
Look at what they did with the Green Fork Park. Have you seen it?
That's
last
right.
week. They
That's
had
right.
a great thing last weekend.
Now, I know Ms. Good and that group, they have taken some interest in
Right.
that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm talking about.
So now it's time for somebody in the Auburn Street, Chappie James area.
Yeah,
needs
City Park.
yes, somebody needs to adopt that
Adopt
park.
that park,
What is
you
it
know.
called? Louise Fields Park, right?
Louise
Right.
Fields Park. And you know, and I knew Louise too. And when I looked at that and I knew that her passion for this community was loving.
Mm-hmm.
Her passion for kids in the school system was loving.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we deserve to give her more. She deserved that we give her more honor than that.
Mm-hmm. There you
And
go.
I just saw it yesterday. But we are going to make a few calls in regards to that. And that's how things are done.
That's
the
how it
squeaky
is.
wheel,
Yep. There you go.
as we know, get the oil.
There you go.
You know, but through community effort, through community information, because a lot of times people say, you know, I didn't know that.
I didn't know it either. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just let me know.
Yeah. I go to E.D. Nixon's apartments a lot, and therefore, But yesterday, the grass was so high I couldn't hardly see the street to go in there. I said, wow, this grass needs to be cut bad.
Yeah, one thing is a city park, okay? So the city's supposed to be taken care of. And another part is people in the community not always embraced by the leadership that would cause them to go out and do things.
Mm-hmm.
So when I talk about family unity, I'm talking about embracing all those things that exist in our community that needs attention. We draw attention to it. If we have to, we do it ourselves. But we feel that we are part of. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, your program is going to be working with our young people. Well, since our young people is a part of your program, then your part of the program has a meaning to us. So the thing that we can do outside of your program to enhance your program, to make it workable, really work, because some things you're not be able to do. That spirit that needs to thrive in the community, you can't generate that about it, but we can together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but people feel like they are a part of. They're not excluded, you know? So certain people in certain areas, they're affiliated with certain people, so they're gonna do certain things. Well, people in another area don't have that same contact with those people, you know? So they don't feel like they're a part of it, and they know it's a city park, so they feel the city ought to cut. They gonna cut. Now,
I bet now that this show is airing, something's gonna happen now.
it's different. It's different.
Yeah.
See, I grew up in the country. Grass don't bother me.
We're in the city though.
No, I'm just trying to show you.
Right.
Something is more important to us, but like you said, the bricks and the mortar. When I start talking to people, I say, that's the first thing they're told. And one other thing from the mind is working with our young people. But I just say, grass and stuff, it don't bother me because I grew up in the country, you know what I'm saying? Well, one place we had the brush broom, we called it brush broom, where we went out and swept the sand because we didn't have no grass in it. So, something to me, it doesn't bother me. But if Patrick wanted to address it, I'd help him. But then, hey, don't bother me. I used to walk around barefoot in the cattle pasture, you know, so you know what to step in and out there. You just went to the well and washed your foot off. You know?
Well, one of the things that we was talking about, Patrick, was like just looking at certain areas. You
Right,
know what I'm
right.
saying? I know one of the things that I heard in the McDonald's crew was that when we talk about roads, we're not doing anybody a favor. Everybody use the road.
That's right.
That's a
Right,
good concept.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Sometimes you may go down Auburn Street, you may go down Chappie James, you know, you may go down those streets as well. So everyone could benefit, but then when you start looking at the areas of high priorities or high concern,
Right.
like crime rate in the community. See, it's from an evidence-based concept, we know that community that has a community watch, they have reduction in crime. Because people report things.
That's
they
right.
call people and they hold people accountable. They hold people accountable for not having cars in your yard. You're not cutting your grass. Those communities going to look better.
Right.
Those are evidence-based programs. So, you know, it gets to communication, respect, and being able to dialogue with significant others.
Right.
I gave a few examples the other day about, I called the police department. This lady was telling me that she couldn't get in her house because the pit bulls was all around her house. She couldn't get in the house. She had made several phone calls. But then when I called the person that answered the phone at the police department, I knew that person. And she told me, hold on a few minutes. And her response was just what I thought it would be. She said, I'll have somebody on the way, because of the fact that she knew exactly who to call to make sure that that's happened.
Right.
That's a part of the kinds of relationship that we have to have in this community to get things done. It's not because I particularly call, but it is a thing where this person needed some assistance, and we have to try to assist others when we can.
Right.
You know? So we have to try to do that from all aspects. Some of us have expertise in some areas that we all do not have, so we have to try to tap into those resources that are not being utilized.
Right, and I think it's improving a lot. We have a show with the sheriff every week, Thursday, 8 p.m. Tune in.
I've seen it.
One of the things the sheriff did is he talks about what you were just talking about. Different areas that have neighborhood watches, they have reduction in crime. The sheriff will come on the air and say, hey, this neighborhood over here is having trouble. Y'all keep your eyes open over there. And we'll see reductions in the crime over there. So we are starting to take advantage of these different technologies to get the word out there.
That's right.
But when I'm still thinking about that park down there, and man, we need to do something about that. That's something needs to happen about that, because this is part of the thing. If we don't have good parks for the children to go to play, to get out and do something, then they're gonna find other less productive things to get into.
Yeah.
So,
and I think with the park, I thought about this. I said, if we could come up with a concept of adopt a park and allow whoever adopt a park some amenities. For example, there's a number of people sells food from these little these trailers. Mm-hmm. And if people knew that you had a good polling station over on Auburn Street, they'll go over to Auburn Street to get one.
Right.
And I said, you give them something. You give a little, you take a little.
Yeah.
And that's something that I will talk to the city council for in that particular area about, trying to get somebody to adopt that park if the city can't cut it, because they seem to have problems cutting it. Because it's hard for me to understand how you can ride down that street and see that park like that, and nobody say, hey, call up there and get that park cut. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A zero turn to cut that park in about maybe an hour and a half.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion.
No, you're right.
Yeah. So those are some of the things that we have to do, and when we look at this total community, we want to make sure that we are not left out. The program that I'm now working with, community correction, the other three, there's 4 counties in this circuit. The other 3 counties had this program a couple years ago. We just getting it, which means that the citizen in Macon County was not, quote, being treated equally or fair like the other counties within the circuit. So I feel very proud and fortunate to be a part of that, because of the fact that we want our citizens to have every opportunity anyone else have any place else in this state. So if you look at the 4 county circuit, now Macon County have one, now we are on board with that. And it's gonna help some people. It's gonna turn somebody's life around. It may not be everybody, well, it will not be everybody, but those that we can, I feel like that is our obligation.
All right. And we have reached the end of another episode of Black Consciousness Today. The time really did fly this time, didn't it? Wow. There is an email address on your screen. I encourage everyone to use that. Give us some feedback. What do you think about this program? I think it's a good thing. It'll help bring unity to the family, because the broken up families. Yeah, get involved.
They will be involved.
There you go.
We can be more effective.
There you go. So join us again next week for another episode of Black Consciousness Today.